welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that just crowned its new champions. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 36 Double Agents Episode 19. This is it. This is the second part of a two-part finals. This is the final of the finals, and we got a lot of checkpoints to go over, so let's jump into where last episode left off, and that was with CT and Amber B holding up a sabotage, waiting to give it to another team as they finished the checkpoint 2 eating portion first, and now they get to sabotage another team, and they eventually give it to Kam and Cory because they were second place. They were coming in hot on their heels, coming into the eating portion, so they drop it off at their station and head off to checkpoint 3. It takes a little bit, but Leroy and Nany finish up their food and head off in second place, and then after a while passes, that's when we have Kam and Cory finishing up their food, finishing up the sabotage food, and then they head off to checkpoint 3 in third place, and that leaves Casey and Fessy, the last team at the eating checkpoint, and in last place. Now, let's just knock it out since we're already here, and I don't want to keep on going back and forth. So Casey and Fessy are the last ones here at this eating checkpoint, and a long time passes to the point where Fessy is sitting on a rock away from his eating station, away from Casey, and he's just sitting there. And that's when TJ has to go over and be like, look, are you still competing? Do you still want to continue on, or do you want to quit? And that's when Fessy's like, has to convince TJ that he still wants to compete. He still wants to be in this game. So TJ's like, go over there, eat, help your teammate out. So he goes back over to the station and he does try the food. He does eat a little portions of the food. He takes baby nibbles, and that's when too much time passes on and TJ's like, look, I told you this was a possibility that you could time out. Well, guess what? The other teams are so far ahead of y'all that you cannot catch up. So you have timed out and you are purged from this final. And this is where everyone was correct. In my previous comment sections, especially last week's comment sections, you all were correct. That you were saying that Fessy is going to blame Casey. He's going to put all the blame and responsibility on her, that they were purged from this final, and everyone was correct because in the confessionals, he talks about how he didn't feel like he was able to compete this whole season, come to the final where he finally gets a partner that he wanted to run with, and she gets injured, and it's because of that they are being purged from the challenge. And it's like, did we not go over exactly what TJ just said, that you guys were getting timed out because of the eating portion, not because of Casey's knee? And even Casey at the end was talking about how, oh, well, if my knee wasn't hurt, I'm sure Fessy would have been able to eat all the food. And Fessy was like, yeah, it was just because of her bum knee. It's like, no, you guys had a shot to make up some time. You had a shot to keep on being in this game, but you just did not take it. You did not take the chance or the opportunity to eat. And it really lies heavily on Fessy, in my opinion, and seeing him blame Casey for it, and Casey kind of taking the brunt of it because of her injury, when in all actuality, it did come down more to the eating because they timed out on the eating portion. I was just like, no, come on, don't let him off the hook that easy. I think everybody else can see it, and it's going to put a giant target on his back come next season, or the next season that he's going to be on. But now let's move on to the next checkpoint, where it's checkpoint 3, where teams are going to have to get into a kayak to another shore, collect their puzzle pieces, put it on the back of their kayak, bring it to another shore where they're going to have to then assemble a totem pole puzzle. This may look like the Black Ops Sand daily challenge because it is, except with a kayak twist. CT and Amber get to their kayaks first. They are in the water and they're having some communication troubles with this kayaking, but they were able to smooth things out and get to their puzzle pieces, attach them to their kayak, and then head over to the next shore. Leroy and Nany are having some troubles with the kayak as they can't get it to turn, and they even flip over at one point, but they flip it back over right side up and they jump back in and are able to collect all their puzzle pieces. Kam and Cory are significantly behind these past two teams. They are able to get into their kayaks, get to the shore, pick up their puzzle pieces, and then be on their way. CT and Amber are first at their totem pole, and they're putting the puzzle together, but they do have to get a second look at the totem pole, so Amber runs down down there. That opened the door for Leroy and Nany to get to the shore and start working on their puzzle. However, when they first start on their puzzle, CT and Amber, they're able to lock it in, get another checkpoint finish first, and then they throw up their puzzle, and then they're heading off to checkpoint 4. Leroy and Nany are working on their puzzle as Kam and Cory are getting to the shore, and before they can get to their pole, that's when Leroy and Nany get a check, and the producers give them a thumbs up, and Leroy and Nany are heading off. But just like how the rest of these finals are going to be playing out, Cory and Kam are able to lock in their puzzle in no time flat and be really, really close to Leroy and Nany as everyone is running this long distance following these tiki torches to this ice cave where there is going to be a checkpoint 4 where they're going to have to finish a math problem within their briefcase before they can call it a night. Now, this is the part of the finals that I'm the most confused about, as it looks to be that there are enough briefcases for everyone, and it feels like there's different math problems for different briefcases. So it's not like one team is working with one problem on 2 briefcases. It just seems like everyone's working individually from the looks of it. However, CT is able to lock in his math problem rather quickly before anybody else shows up. He's able to lock in his answer, and on the bottom of the screen, it says that CT and Amber's time has been stopped. So they finished first. So is it individual or is it teams? As we move through this, the other teams arrive, and that's when Nany locks in her answer, and it says that Leroy and Nany have gotten their math problem, and then Kam and Cory lock in their problem. After Kam gets her math problem, that's when TJ does like a jump cut to be in front of everybody, and he goes, okay, good. We're gonna stop this. We're gonna be here all night, which makes me wonder, is this an individual checkpoint that turned into a team checkpoint because a lot of people were having trouble on the math portion? Did anybody else solve their math problem, or was it just those 3 competitors and then everybody else was having difficulty, so they decided to group them into a team checkpoint? I don't know what's going on. It just seems like it's a pretty jumbled mess, but this is where TJ is like, look, we're gonna stop it here. I have an announcement. Casey and Fessy could not get through the eating checkpoint. They have been purged already, so everyone left is going to make it into day 2 and finish up this final. Now, CT, because you finished checkpoint 4 and finished this leg in first place, you get to choose if you want to stay with Amber as your partner or pick anybody else, but this is the last time you can change your partner. Whoever you pick right now, you have to finish the finals with. CT is really thinking about this because this could be a $900,000 decision, but he ultimately decides to stay with Amber. She's been kicking butt this whole finals, and they got through day 1 together, getting first place on every single checkpoint. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And then TJ goes into the sleeping arrangements for the night, where one member of each team will be able to sleep in their bed, and then the other member are going to have to hold onto a capsule while standing. If you want to switch places and whoever's holding the capsule wants to get some sleep, they're going to have to dunk their head in glacier water and then swap out with their partner and try to get some sleep. They're going to be doing that all night. This is a long night. They're doing this until 7 a.m. the next morning, so it's going to be like 11 to 12 hours they're going to be switching up being in this ice cave, and this ice cave is going to get cold during the night. It's like colder and colder. It's going to just keep on dropping. And also how they place during the day has their advantages and disadvantages, because coming in first place was CT and Amber, and they get a geothermal waterproof sleeping bag. Second place was Leroy and Nany, and they get a waterproof duvet. And then Kam and Cory came in third place, and they get a wool blanket, which is going to be like sleeping with a moist towelette. Like, it's going to be drenched rather quickly in this ice cave where it's just dripping continuously throughout the night. Now, during the night portion, this is where we have Cory talking about Fessy, how he's blaming Casey for her injury and why they didn't make it through the checkpoint, why they didn't win this finals. Him and Nany are having a great time going back and forth with this, and they read him dead to rights. They were dragging him in this ice cave early on, and they were spot on. Then we move on a little bit into the night where Leroy and Kam are talking about how excited they are to start their life together once this challenge finals is over, once this season is over, and also when everybody is trying to go to sleep, that's when Leroy drops the bomb and is like, oh, this is my last season, and everybody is like, what? are you talking about? Cory seems incredulous. Nany feels immense pressure on having to perform even better day 2 to help Leroy get this win, and CT is talking about how he knew it all along because Leroy was playing a completely different game. He was playing a cutthroat game, and that is completely different from what he normally plays in challenge season. So CT was like, I knew it. I knew this was going to be your last season, the way you were playing this game. So he drops that bomb. Everyone is like losing their minds as this cave gets colder and colder, as they're just standing and trying to waste time in this cave. They're just holding this capsule. Finally, at 7 a.m., TJ comes to be a wake-up call to them. He comes in and is like, you guys ready for day 2? Everyone's like, yes. He's tells them to drop their capsules, pick up their helmets, and meet them out front in this cave for the instructions for day 2. The mission for day 2, get past the finish line first. So he tells them that the beginning of this day 2, this leg 2, they're gonna have to run up this glacier, grab a pickaxe for each of them, and then head off to the next checkpoint where you're gonna have to chip away at an ice block with a capsule in the middle of it. You have to free that capsule and take it to you for the next checkpoint where you're gonna have to use it. CT and Amber, for getting first place in day 1, they will get a 5-minute head start. Leroy and Nany, for being in second place, will get a 2-minute head start, meaning Kam and Cory are gonna have to make up some time at these checkpoints. These checkpoints are gonna be the key to seeing if CT and Amber are gonna just run away with these finals, or if they're gonna be an equalizer for the rest of the teams that make up some time. But Kam and Cory are gonna be 7 minutes behind CT and Amber. CT and Amber get to their ice cube first. They are chiseling away at this, but Leroy and Nany come in a little while later, but CT and Amber get their capsule out pretty quickly and are heading off to the next checkpoint. Then Kam and Cory still see Leroy and Nany at that checkpoint, but Leroy and Nany get their capsule, run off, and Cory goes like Hulk smashing on this ice cube as he just totally breaks through this thing rather quickly. He brings up the capsule and he is taken off hot on Leroy and Nany's heels. And then this checkpoint is where I just realized how far ahead CT and Amber were. They were killing it on their runs because they were so far ahead that they got to the checkpoint where they got to a board that says, leave your code here. They drop their capsule, run up to the decryption puzzle board, and they go, oh, we need to get our decipher code that were in the capsules that we did not look at. So they had to run all the way down back to where they dropped their capsule, looked at the card, memorized their portions of the card, put it back in, dropped their capsule, ran back up to the decoding station, figured out the code, got a check, and then were off before any of the other teams arrived. That's when the other 2 teams met up at the same time, were looking at their decoding, dropped it, got up to the board, figured it out. Leroy and Nany were still in second place, but Kam and Cory were right behind them. And then at checkpoint 7, the final checkpoint of these finals was a tanagram puzzle, or as Darrell likes to call it, a tangerine puzzle. And CT and Amber are there first. CT locks this thing in rather quickly. He tries to throw this thing. I thought it was gonna go off the side of the cliff. They are off, heading off to what seems to be the final leg, the final stretch as they're going uphill. Then Leroy and Nany, Kam and Cory get to the puzzle right next to each other, but this is where Kam and Cory actually lock in their puzzle first, and so they jump over them to get into second place, but Leroy and Nany are right behind them and they are in third place, but there's just a little jump, a little jockeying for position. But then they turn around, they're running, and they're like, we can't even see CT and Amber. Where are they? What's going on? Then we get a little bit of like editing magic here where CT and Amber take a small detour, but they try to make it seem like, oh my goodness, we really made a wrong turn. We're going for a long while. We're walking completely in the wrong direction for a long time. Somebody could pass us. What could happen? They're really trying to make us think that CT and Amber are going to lose this thing because they missed an arrow checkpoint. But when we come back from the commercial break, CT's just like, oh yeah, there's the arrow. And he hadn't even passed or moved very far. He just had Amber scouting out in the front to see if there was like, that was the right way to go, or if they need to assess the situation. But CT's just like, oh, there's the arrow, we got to go that way. And so Amber and CT lock back up, they're going the right way, and they find TJ first, meaning they cross the finish line in first place, meaning CT and Amber win the challenge, Season 36 Double Agents, winning $900,000, CT locking up another challenge championship, Amber winning in her rookie season, getting that chunk of cheddar, and that's when Leroy, Cory, Kam, and Nany are listening in and hearing that CT and Amber are celebrating, so they know that they already hit the first place. But that's when Leroy is like, but there's still $100,000 left up for grabs. I want to get something at least in my final season. That's when Leroy jumps in front of Cory, and it is a dead sprint between the two, and Leroy is able to finish ahead of Cory, but it all comes down to Kam and Nany, and Kam is right behind Cory, and she finishes, and so Cory and Kam finish as a partnership ahead of Leroy and Nany, getting second place, securing $100,000, $50,000 each, and Leroy and Nany get third place. And this is pretty emotional as we're seeing a montage of Leroy's challenge career as everyone is talking about their families, why they did this, and just being able to finish this long, arduous journey, this long, arduous final, and for it to be over, and everyone is relieved, everyone is happy, everyone is euphoric, despite maybe not liking their positioning, maybe they wanted to get first place, but they just feel a sense of pride and a sense of accomplishment that this challenge season has finally ended. I'm not gonna lie, this challenge season has been going on what feels like for forever. And I thought at one point that it was never going to end, but it has ended. At least the main season has ended. We still have the reunion coming up next week, which we're still going to be talking about and going over everything that happened, but we're going to have to get to that next week. Now, I would say that this was it, that this was the ending to this season. However, we still have more. There was a teaser at the end once everyone got their money and was cheering on and having a great time. TJ is like driving up to the studio. He gets inside. He's typing on a fake computer. There's things coming up on the screen, and that's when we get challenge activated, which means to me that in challenge 37, it looks like we could get like a Double Agents 2. Or taking a look at the speculative or rumored cast list, it could be like a training day where we have rookies paired up with vets, and they're gonna have to run the season together, kind of like a fresh meat, kind of like a War of the Worlds season 33 type of situation, but with a spy theme to the season. But we're gonna have to wait to see how that's all going to play out, as I'm gonna have a rumored speculative cast list reactions and talking about it for challenge season 37 coming out very, very soon. But that is it for this episode. That is it for this season. What'd you think about these finals? Let me know that in the comment section below. What'd you think about this season? What'd you think about the placings, the checkpoints? What'd you think was your favorite part of the finals? What did you not like about the finals? Let me know that in the comment section below. And what'd you think about the winners of CT and Amber? Are you excited that they won, or were you rooting for somebody else? Were you really pulling for Leroy to get his first challenge win on his final season? Let me know that in the comment section below. Let me know anything and everything you thought about of this challenge finals down in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.